So we're live, lads. You're on TV. So look, as you said, 3-0 loss, but good things to take out of it. Got a league and cup on the way.
Yeah, hard to take too much positive out of it, really. I know that you're desperate for some positive feedback, which I've been trying to throw at the dog a bone, to save a phrase. Yeah, look, it's just, as I said, put it behind them. Forget about it. It's been a pretty disastrous European run. So as you say, you have a cup and league. You have a game on Sunday against St Patrick's. That's an absolute must win, as is every game for the rest of the season, given the fact that they're realistically 4 points behind Dundalk. So that's where their focus has to lie.
A new man, new recruit. I interviewed you before. You're no. Is it? Oh, do you know what? Yeah, it was. It would have been your third appearance, but the first one, the sound was missing. So this is only second official. Big Cork City fan. Disappointed you couldn't make it out there tonight. How did you actually enjoy the game?
Enjoy the game? No.
Listen, it's. If you're watching the earlier ones, there's doom and gloom. I want to hear someone enjoy the game. You're an intelligent guy. Give us some. Come up with something.
I tell you now, right? There was absolutely nothing to enjoy about that game whatsoever.
Hold on now a second. Was the point nice?
The point was lovely. Damien, Bishopstown Bar, lovely point to Murphy's. Finger food at half time, great spot. What I would say though is that, in fairness, look, terrible European run. It was an absolute disaster. You've got Pats on Sunday. You have to beat Pats. If you don't beat Pats, all of a sudden a little bit of negativity turns into a massive amount of negativity. So Pats is absolutely huge, and there's no reason you can't go out and beat Pats, like, in fairness.
True. But like we're looking for a few questions now on the forum, so hopefully we'll get a few questions from the lads. Is there any in there so far, Jamie? Yeah? Go on, shout them out. No. Shout them out. Who's there from? Ryan's back again. Ryan's a fan favourite on the show. Can you say now that McNulty's good? He is a bit of a... I think he's a Cherry fan.
Yes. He's the best goalkeeper we've ever had at this football club. 2 games don't ever change that. I
like that. Something positive. McNulty positivity going on here, folks. Have we anything else? You want
us to double, like. You look what he did last year, like. Look what he's done for the club. Keepers are bad games, they're easy targets. Most weeks you'll probably see players have worse performances out there than a goalkeeper, but if a goalkeeper makes one mistake, he's gone, like, his head's on the line. One mistake and he's done, like.
Here. And
he's made a couple of mistakes, like, look, he's not the only one who played poorly, like, you know.
And as well, he sung in front of the Cork City supporters a song about Dundalk, and it riled us up in the papers. So, like
you can't say anything bad about Mark McNulty. You can't criticise his passion, his play, what he gives to the football club. So any little criticism about Nults tonight, we're better.
He's got a great beard as well. Fair play, Nults.
He probably needs a haircut. I'm looking at him there. Probably could do with a bit of... No, it's coming from me. But you know...
You're not too bad. You got the struggle going on. Myself and Kevin here, it's a bit kind of flaky and
pretty bad, isn't it? We definitely need to shape up for Sunday.
It's been 33 years now and I'm still not, you're kind of getting there. I'll be where you are in about 36, 37.
Yeah, like, there's almost a bit of the hair bun going on with Nulls now, like, and I know about it, like, an Irish bloke can't really pull it off, to be honest.
Sorry, somebody from Ballincollig. Anyway, I think it's gotten to the stage where the football is so bad, we're actually talking about facial hair. I think this is almost the stage where we're getting at with here, so...
But as you said, look, it's a social aspect, and we discussed it. It's coming to the games week in and week out. We were talking earlier at half time about how we're going to improve the league and stuff like that, and look, Kevin kind of hit it. It's not really going to improve, is it? Like, unless you put massive amounts of money into it. And I'm talking new stadiums, bigger wage bills. Like, you're not just going to turn around and make like a League of Ireland club successful in Europe.
Yeah, but see, people have this romantic notion of, okay, we've got to make the league better. I may be one of the few people. I don't want the league to get better. I quite like the fact that I can go to a game, I can stand on a terrace, there's pubs in some grounds. We can't get out for drinking Turner's Cross anymore, but we could last year. There is something very, very football about the League of Ireland that's been missing from a lot of other leagues. You saw there earlier on today, I think La Liga announced that some of their games are now going to be played in Canada. Like, now, I'm never going to... Now, okay, the league is never going to get to that stage, but this romantic notion that we're going to improve facilities, we're going to have bigger player wages, would that be great? Yeah, but none of us are League of Ireland supporters because we want to watch free-flowing football. Because there's no free-flowing football in the League of Ireland. You go because it's your hometown club, you go because it's the social aspect, you go for the crack, you go for the laugh. That's why we support Cork City, not because one day in 20 years' time we might have a slightly bigger stadium. Like, if you ask any Cork City fan, would you prefer going to games now, or would you prefer going to games when there was a terrace behind the goal? Every single one of them would say, bring me back to 05, right back to the 90s, because it was a more football-orientated experience. And there's no reason why we should try and be something that we're not, because that's not what we're about.
And to be fair, look, I've seen there in the news today, Canada have legalised marijuana. So if you are a La Liga supporter, you're in for a good time there if they are playing league games there. I wonder, is that why they went there? Did they know this was happening? Maybe they like to smoke a bit. I don't know.
Maybe it's a ploy to slow down Lionel Messi once and for all. I don't know.
But as you say, look, there's a big argument. I see it all the time. You're on about you don't want them to change and you want to stay the same. But there is a massive audience then, like, going after lads who are like supporting Premiership teams, and you know, why aren't they coming to the local games? But you don't want them to come. So
no, it's not necessarily that I don't want people to come. If people want to watch a game in a pub and watch Man United, off with you. If that's your thing, that's fine. I'm just one of these people who wants to go and watch a game of football, go for a few beers before the game, go for even more beers after the game, have a bit of a laugh, being able to stand, not being harassed. That's what I kind of want to do. That's just my thing. I think a lot of other Cork City supporters are like that. If people want to come to Turner's Cross, everyone is welcome in Turner's Cross. If you want to go and watch Man United play in a pub on a Saturday and come to Turner's Cross on a Friday, by all means do that. But there's no point. There's a big difference between not wanting people to come to Turner's Cross and just saying that we don't want to modernise like every other or a lot of other football clubs are currently doing, essentially. Like, even if you ask some of the supporters in, we say, League 1, League 2, they've modernised massively over the last 3 to 5 years, and their supporters don't like it. There's a reason why Man United fans broke away and set up FC United, because the place became essentially a carnival of kind of plastic cups and people coming in for one game, spending 80 quid on a jersey. That's not what football is about. And all I'm saying is that let's not try and make the League of Ireland something that it's not. If we got money in, fine. If players got increased wages, it'd be absolutely fantastic. But let's professionalise it, but let's not modernise it to the point where it just becomes another plastic league, essentially.
There's too many opinions in football, and there's like too many kind of podcasts and online TV shows and stuff like talking about football. Get rid of them all. But do you follow any clubs in the Premier League?
No. City, like, do you know what's the enjoyment of watching it on the TV? Like, do you know, there's no passion there. Like, you don't get that moment, you don't get that excitement. Like, there's just, you know, you can't get that. There's just nothing to it. Like, you know, you go down to Turner's Cross and like there's a last minute winner or there's a red card, there's some sort of a moment, and you can just buy into that, and you can let rip at any player on the pitch, like, and you can call him whatever name you want. Like, you're not going to do that in the pub. Like, you know, it's just authentic, like, and it's your local side. Like, you can get behind it. You can't really buy into, you know, the culture in Manchester or in London. Like, there's just nothing there. Like, we're from Cork, like, and you can get behind your local side, and if you lose that, you've nothing there. Like, you look at United, you go to Old Trafford, like, the atmosphere there is dead, like, you know, because they're just there for
everyone's sitting down and winning the show. Yeah. Have we a few questions, Jamie? Yeah, Ryan, you can come on the show, no problem. We'll get you on the show.
Panelists here.
We'll have to fight these fellas off, Ryan. We'll have to fight them off. But would you watch like games on TV? You would.
Yeah, I would. Like, I'd enjoy watching it on the TV, but like, you can't get the same enjoyment as you do going to a game and experiencing it live. Like,
it's a completely different experience. It's like anything else. You watch any other sport, I even find it difficult to watch Cork City on the telly, to be honest, because you don't know what's going on in the background. So you're seeing what the camera's showing, but you don't know if a long ball comes over the top. Is that long ball being covered, or is there going to be a mistake made? I find that very difficult. But it's about the community. It's about you call it the church. You can slag me off if you want, but I think a lot of people know what it is. Some people it's like a drama group. Some people it's a local community centre. Some people it's loads of different things. Some people it's Macra. Some people they all have their own little communities that they're part of. And Cork City's just another one of those. It just so happens that now we have 7,000 people going, or on good days. But what I like about this football club is that we've retained the essence of who we are, and a lot of the people who were there from the very start are still very much meeting up on a regular occasion, still go to UA games together, and that's nice. That the club has grown, and we're all delighted to see it grow, but it's done a good job of maintaining its essence, and as Dave said, I think that's the most important thing.
Maybe as a couple of points you bring on there about and Dave, you're saying as well, and about being a fan and being in touch with the players and being in touch with the club, and it's close to you. I actually saw a video there the other day of the Liverpool players. I don't know if you saw it. They were coming out after a game and they're ignoring the fans and just going on the bus. And to me, I see where that's coming from. You're
If you're being asked for autographs every passing minute of every day, that does happen. It just so happens at the time you don't sign the autograph, it ends up on social media. So I think players, particularly players who are in the spotlight, do get a pretty hard going. Ultimately, I don't know who was it, Masala or someone. I don't know who it was. Whoever that player is, I don't know what that player is like, and neither do the 100,000 people who are criticising them on Twitter. He could do great work for charity. He could sign autographs all day and all night after a game. Maybe he was just not signing autographs that day, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Footballers, I think, give back. Some footballers obviously are a pack of pricks, but a lot of them do give back as much as they possibly can. I think to criticise someone based on one video is it's a bit simplistic, really.
Yeah, that does happen. Footballers giving back. I don't know what footballers but they take. I was a taker as well. So
talk about football here.
So I was one. I kind of walked myself into that. Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah,
thanks, Kevin. What are you trying to imply, Kevin?
Look, but football's changing for the better. That's what I think.
Yeah, but look, you get to see European games. Your team is winning at the moment, doing really well. I'm asking the question: the football on the pitch, let's talk about it a little bit, is
talking about football now, so this is gonna be tough. Go on anyway.
So what do you think as fans watching the games every week in, week out, the football on the pitch? Let's forget about the atmosphere and everything else. It's poor.
The football, and within the league, there's some great games, but I just think the way we're playing this year in particular is poor. There's nothing attractive about it. There's no pace to it. There doesn't really seem to be a system at times. Like we were saying at half time, if Johanna McNamee out in the wings, they're both central players. McNamee's probably one of the best 10s in the league, yet he's been thrown out in the left wing or the right wing, and he's just not comfortable out there. We just don't have. It's a bit like 2015. I don't see an actual system to what we're trying to do, and it's all just thrown together, and I think we're being caught out by it. Whereas at least in 16 and 17, I know we'd Shawnee up top, but at least we had that focal point and we had a defined style of play, and it was enjoyable to watch. But now you're just seeing it, and there's no flow to it. It's just awkward. There's players all over the place. You look at Griffin there for the first or second goal tonight. He was win 10 yards of space back in the corner flag, and he just punts the ball into the centre of the pitch. Take it down. If you have to punt it out of play, put it up the line, give Shepherd something to chase. You'd Shawnee there last year, he'd have chased it. Whereas now it's just kick the ball aimlessly, give away a goal, and it's rubbish. We need to find some sort of system to identify ourselves to.
See me hearing this, you're saying this, and I'm thinking, you won 2 leagues last year, and you're winning the league this year. Yeah, fair enough, you went in Europe and you lost, but I'm thinking, geez, if I'm a manager out there, you should take this advice on board. Have no system,
Oh yeah, to be fair, fair though, like I mean, there's no like I mean, if you ask any Cork City fan, would you rather play good football and lose a league or play bad football and win a league? You're gonna say win a league, like, do you know what I mean? But like I mean, the question was about just style of play and stuff like that. I think there is a big difference there. Like I mean, if there's one thing that John Caulfield is good at doing, it's winning football matches. Like the amount of results that we grind out, not playing very, very well. Like it's almost a bit of a kind of it's almost becoming a running joke now, whereby an away team will come to Turner's Cross, start the game quite well, and end up losing 3-0 because we're just very, very, I suppose, clinical is the wrong word, but we do grind out results. And as a Cork City fan, you can't really ask for much more. It'd be great if we could play a bit of ball, obviously, but like I mean, if we're winning football matches, I don't give a shit.
Winning.
But I don't think people should be criticised for having opinions on the game either. Like John is a very, very successful manager, and he's done an awful lot for this football club. But that doesn't mean that anybody's invincible. You know, like nobody's invincible, and the fans are the ones that pay in. They have more of right than I do to comment on it, because they're the ones that are paying their money, than the journalists. Like they're paying their hard-earned cash. They have a right to criticise. They have a right to have a go off players if they want. And once I think most people know there's a line there, to be fair, but John completely understands that as well. He's not to the point where he doesn't expect to be criticised. I just think that because Cork City is a smaller club, and it's a lot same with a lot of League of Ireland clubs, it's very parochial. Everybody knows each other, so there can be that little heightened sensitivity when you do criticise somebody, because you're talking to them the next day or 2 days afterwards. And I suppose that's what makes Cork City a little bit of a different case. You look at Arsenal Fan TV. Sorry now to bring up your closest rivals in terms of hits, but like. Yeah. But like they can stand outside and they can criticise Arsene Wenger all they want. He's never going to know about. Well, he probably does look at some of the videos, but as Arsenal as a club are so big that it doesn't make a difference. But I still think Cork City fans should be able to criticise, and it was a disappointing result tonight, and I think we should be able to acknowledge that. But we should also be able to contextualise it and say, right, well, bad result, but there's still these trophies to play on the line, and there's still lots to play for.
There you go. Have we any more questions? That's about it.
Go on.
Have you anything else you want to say, or anything as fans that will you have a chance now?
Yeah, like John, like just on that, like John Caulfield is our most successful manager in history, like, and when you're winning, there's nothing more enjoyable as a fan than winning ugly. Like when you're playing Sligo on a Monday night and it's mucky out there, you're not creating much, they miss a penalty, you go get a late winner, like that's what you want, like. But then on the flip side of it, when you see that tonight, you're like, it's frustrating when you're playing so poorly and you're being beaten off the park, like.
I can see that just from kind of a football background. So like tonight, Europe is a totally different game. Like you've got to like keep the ball, and you've got to like try and create an opportunity, and sometimes that can be kind of boring as a player because you just want to get forward, especially if you're playing like John has him set up, like, to trash teams in League of Ireland, like just go, get forward, get down the line, get goals, which they do when they're doing it at the moment. It's hard then to try and change it up, especially as a player. Like even if John, he could have told him to like relax and stuff, and they're still going out because you're in automatic mode. That does happen to you, and I can see as well. So like you're like football, so. Like there's a huge argument all the time about playing football and not playing football, and how it's coached, and you can coach it this way and that way. Like you look at look at Arsenal there at the weekend. Jenny, if you see Arsenal at the weekend, how good are those footballers though? Like those footballers are full-time footballers, probably better than every one of the Rosenberg players out on the pitch, and they're asked to play a different like kind of way, and they can't play football, which is like against Man City. So
it's all levels, and football fans are the most fickle people in the world. Like I mean, this time last year, or thereabouts this time last year, just before Shawnee left, we were playing some of the best football I've ever seen Cork City play. It was incredibly entertaining stuff. All of a sudden Shawnee goes and people are saying, it was just because of Sean Maguire. It wasn't just because of Sean Maguire, do you know what I mean? So like football fans, we're very, very fickle. We over-criticise, but then we also be overtly positive when things are going well as well. So, like, I mean, like, really, like John, the players, they get their head down, they do their thing. They don't really care what the fans say in terms of criticising their football. Like, I'd be the first man. I don't know a fucking thing about football. I don't know a thing about football. You'll testify to that. I don't know a thing about football. But at the same time, it's not really like, again, and a lot of fans don't know anything about football, but you still criticise, you still analyse, and that's kind of the fun in it, really, I suppose.
Yeah, like we could go out and beat Pats 5-0 on Sunday, like, and we'll be on top of the world. Like, oh, we're going to win the double again, like, do you know?
Hit him at the wrong time, lads. Hit the positivity at the wrong time. Any more questions? No, that's it. There's 1,000. Just a few shout outs. Who said that? Ryan said end product. We need a new striker.
Yeah, one person watching FansVoiceTV, I think. Yeah, I mean, I said it to you half time or even before the game. I can't even remember at this point. People are probably sick of looking at me. Yeah, like we need a forward presence, and you talk about Europe being a different ball game. All of the best European teams have those players. They can hold up the ball. They can score when the chips are down. Even against Legia, we had 2 great chances and they were both missed. And it really provides a focal point. And you know, even any team, a Munster Senior League team, a junior team, if you have somebody who plays up front that you can depend on holding up the ball, it alleviates an awful lot of pressure on your midfielders and your defenders, and it allows you to be able to push your team further up the pitch to establish better territory, establish a better position, which in turn gives you a better shape when you're defending. So, you know, that lack of a striker, Ronan Collin came on. I would like to have seen Shane Daly-Boots come on, to be honest. Myself, I thought this would be a good opportunity for him to get some experience at what is a very high level. So yeah, I mean, definitely that's something that City will have to look at in the winter, but I suppose we would have all hoped that Graham Cummins would have been that, but Graham has scored a couple of goals, but I don't think he's quite been as good as what people were hoping for.
So look, leave it at that. Look, and it's unlucky Cork City tonight. I thought, look, they played well the first 14 minutes, and then, you know, they were the better team in the first 14 minutes, but we have a question. Who?
Darren's already.
Who asked me for coming out of retirement? That's Paul O'Donovan. Oh, right. No, there's no chance of me coming out of retirement. I should have retired when I was 22, not 28. So, but look, thanks for watching, and we'll be back again with Monday Night Live. Thanks again, lads, and I hope you get your result next year. Get a further trip in Europe, and look. You have the league and cup to look forward to anyway.
How far we go? We just want a nice trip.
Yeah.
Malta, Cyprus.
Somewhere sunny.
Yeah. Cheap beer. Poland again. I'd take Poland.
Yeah, I'd take.
Maybe Kazakhstan once in a while.
I missed the point totally. They just want a nice trip, lads. Don't forget about the football and the systems. They just want a nice trip.
The Roy Keane say they're only here. They're only over for the trip. They're only over for the beer and the sing song. Isn't that what he said?
Well, look, on the football side of things, keep paying the money, lads, because the football love that. Cheers.